Hello all, I'm Colette and I'm here today on Witch Ways to talk about the differences and definitions between some witchy terms. Things like spells, charms, binding, charging, etc. We're all different. We all have different ways of working with these words. So I would love it if you put your definitions and the way you use these words in the comments below. Enjoy the video. What's a spell? A spell is a written piece of magic that when you read it, it brings your magic to life and activates it. It can be short or long. It can be big picture, culture changing, or it can be more tailored to individual needs. Big picture spells can be a little tricky to carry out and execute because there's so many moving pieces involved. Individual spells were often passed down within families, covens, or traditions. In the past, people used to like them to rhyme, to make a magical flow to them, and also to make them easy to remember and use. A charm is an object that you create for a specific purpose, like luck or health or protection. You can carry them on your person or place them where they're needed, like a car for safe travels or in a doorway of your house for protection for the home. You can put them together inside a small bag. You can tie them together in a piece of cloth or bundle several things together with string. You can enhance your charms and the power of them through the colors that you use for the cloth or bag, the kind of knotwork you use. You can include objects like herbs or personal objects like fingernail clippings or hair. And you can also put symbols on or in them. Consecrating is the act of blessing or dedicating something. It can be to a being, like a deity or an ally or an ancestor. You can consecrate a tool for a specific use or a space that you want to do magic in, either permanently or temporarily. It can be done in a whole bunch of different ways. That's a whole video. And you can use things like words, songs, chants, herbs, or symbols to consecrate a space. So, bindings. Many people use bindings as a baneful magic, often to bind another person, to protect themselves, or as a defensive act. It also, though, is used in a broader perspective. It can be used to capture certain kinds of magical energy for later use, like the power of capturing the moon in water for full moon or dark moon water use. You can also capture things like the wind. Sailors used to hire witches in European and Mediterranean tradition to capture the winds and bind them into knots, and then at sea, when the sailors were becalmed, they would undo the knots and release the winds. Charging or charming is the practice of pouring magical intention into an object. You can use words to do this. You can use your breath, your hands, your energy, or simply your intention. Some examples of charging things are food for kitchen witchery. It's also used in candles for candle magic or for completing and empowering charm bags. Warding is a form of permanent or semi-permanent protective magic for a house or an area. Occasionally it's used on people or animals, but that's a little more advanced and difficult. It's like a magical fence. It's often anchored with pictures or symbols or other physical objects. Enchantment literally means to chant into. And to me, that really goes back to the power of sound waves, the power of resonance, the power of voice and song. I tend to think of this in some ways as kind of a catch-all word for any piece of magic where a spell is cast or where people are singing or using words to activate magic. These words are often used interchangeably, often because they come from more than one culture's linguistic roots. They were often also used by outsiders or colonizers to describe things that they had not a clue about or didn't understand or were interested in demonizing because they wanted the land. And as we all know, often these were the people who wrote the historical records. Whatever your definitions are for these words is totally fine. We all come from different traditions. And as I say, these words are somewhat interchangeable in some ways, as long as you have a clear understanding for yourself of what you mean when you say them. Please put your questions in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe. Consider getting notifications as well. I would also love it if you check out my Patreon page. I'm going to be running another promo next month, so I will let you know about that in a few weeks. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and be well.